So somebody just goes, "Oh, you look really good." And then they realize, "Oh, it's just the light. The way that the light is shining and bouncing off of my face." That is correct. So I'm feeling some of you, a lot of you, are doing the crystal yolk temple. And you only did part 2, but at least part 2 had the strawberry quartz. And you can feel it. And you can feel it. It's like only part 2. You understand the irony of that. But when I'm hearing you guys in the astral, you guys are going, yeah, we're not knife rapists. we're crystal yolk fillers. So now we're starting to bring in the health of the planet through the Clipith, through the planetary world grid, and filling it with all the crystal yolk. And what that does is prevent backsliding. So when I have a positive thought, or when you guys have a positive thought, or more me, because I have a stronger base, but I have less shadow backlash. So when I go, I want to do, this is my goal, this is what I want to do today, I can get it done. Or when I have a dream or an ambition, it's like, oh, I can move forward because I have a stronger platform and foundation. Now, the more you do your crystal yolk temples, even part 1, and get your tower built correctly with the bricks and everything, you'll have a stronger foundation. So that when you have that God divine inspiration thought, you can go ahead and move forward in life instead of battle demons all day long about what that goal or intention was. And that's really important when you're wanting to do magic, is that you set, like, go protego totalum, and like the grid comes through instead of Reavers or Slytherins or the demons you would have to knife rapists. Like, so you need to know that. Period. All right. So we're going to begin the 8th house Nexa egg. And it was really important that we got a good crystal yolk that was solid, like a lot more solid. It's not totally solid yet, but it's getting there. And you might feel the energy in your body where it's starting to stable and level out. This is where we're walking on more holy ground instead of toxic wasteland with demons beneath us trying to bite at our ankles every 5 seconds. So, and that's really what it was. Somebody was trying to tell me that they had no issues because they didn't wear shoes anymore. And I was, and I'm thinking, good, okay, so if you walk down the street, do you understand the irony? So if you walk down the street in the city, you're going to step on glass or heroin needles or layers of trash or food that was poured on the cement. Or you're going to step in gum left over from a 3-year-old child. Okay. So there's that issue. And if you live in Africa, you might develop parasites that are like worms coming out of your feet. And or the dysentery of water creating fungal infections. So Like, we need to be very mindful when it's funny when we say it, but the reality is definitely not there. So, when we have no issues, or when we actually are living on the Garden of Eden, and that almost everyone can walk down the street without getting their ankles bitten by a snake, a copperhead chasing them down, or where they're gonna step on fire ants and then be eaten up, or etc., 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 or then developing the parasites or the fungus, or just city living where we can walk down the street and not step on glass. So that's life. Now, if you live in the suburbs, this is the problem, and this is how I grew up. Okay, if you live in like white upper middle class America or something similar, and you can walk down the middle of the street in bare feet and have no issues, and go running in the middle of the night at 2 a.m., you need to understand it's because you live in La Costa instead of, or something, or someplace similar, like almost like gated communities that don't even need to be gated. That's how safe and fucked up it is. Okay, so you need to understand that's a bubble. That's a delusion bubble. And the rest of the world is not like that. There's a reason why Deep Pocket Chopra decided to put his center at the La Costa Resort. There is a reason why Yogananda built his temple ashram in Encinitas, and why nobody even knows that exists. They just call it Swami's Beach in La Costa. So you need to with spiritual. What is that India-looking building that we just call that Swami's, because that's where we go surfing every morning? That's what a La Costa person actually sounds like. They don't even know what the Self-Realization Fellowship is, because why would they need to be spiritual? Because life is perfect. Die. So you need to understand, like, those places in life are not, they're not actually holy, because they prevent a knowledge or understanding of the depth of issues around the globe. Now, they do model a sense of stability or sanity, and I am grateful that I got to grow up going running at 2 o'clock in the morning, not afraid that I'd get kidnapped or raped. So there's that. Because the rest of the world doesn't. Yeah. So there are other communities around the planet that are of that vibration. Very few and far between. Now, we need to understand these perfection points in life. And I don't think that they're actually perfect, because there's a Desperate Housewives vibe to it. There are also children that become outwardly cruel because they have the repressed demons inside of them, because everything is so vanilla, at least on the outside or the facade. So they develop psychosis, and they need to take a lot of pills, or they need to mask their insecurities with clothes, or I'm going to do all my homework and go to Harvard, and everything is going to look perfect on the outside kind of reality. And then people like me, where I would sit in class and just write poetry all day at the age of 16. I'd sit in English class and go, fuck the teacher, fuck the assignments. I'm going to write my own poetry, and that's all I want to do. And then I'm going to go sit in my lunch. So I was the reject in high school. So just so everybody knows. I was smart, but I was the reject. Honors English. Fuck this class. I'll still pass it, though. But I won't do any of the work. So I'll spend my lunch in the art room painting. Because all the mean girls would like to throw food on me. Stuff like that. So those people, so those perfection zones of community or environment create really cruel children because they have no depth. They have no depth of their soul. They have no depth of ascendio. Swami, what is that Indian looking building? Okay, so then my best friend in high school was Nina Hester, and her mom had depth. But Nina was a reject, just like me, but in Nina's way. And through that, it was like, oh, that's the Self-Realization Fellowship. And we listen to New Age music. And we do things like meditation and eat sushi, etc., etc. Before that was a thing, just so you guys understand. We're talking about the 90s, not the hipster 2010, where sushi is just everywhere. You guys need to understand La Costa and the timing around these fads. So Nina and Nina's mother helped ascendio me because I was looking for that different person that I could connect with, and we were rejects together. Now, in college, it was different. In college, I could just go to an art school, and then we were all rejects together because nobody goes to art school. They go to Harvard or Berkeley, or they go to Stanford, and that's how I grew up. All right, so, and here I'm even, like my boyfriend, they go to Cambridge or Oxford. They don't go to Otis College of Art and Design and get a degree in painting. God, no. So these are really important lessons when we're building our 8th house Nexa system. Because you need to understand the higher level spaces of life and reality. You need to understand the bubbles surrounding them. You need to understand those ISO access points where Nina and I could bond together even in a weird Stepford wife delusion bubble. So you need to understand those components when you're building these Nexa systems. Now, the 8th house Nexa system is, I wish that I had my Zoom playing. Oh, look, I can just pause and start a new video. Yay, okay. So that was easy. Share screen. Because I was on QuickTime. I wasn't prepared. So here's my QuickTime video. Yay. All right, so there are a couple components with our 8th house Nexa system. Because we're doing an egg within an egg within an egg within an egg within an egg. So if you look, you have yourself within your home, within your community, within your city, within your state, within your country, within your planet, within your galaxy, and then we have the intergalactic component. Now you need to understand, like, this Russian doll setup, like it. So this is the most complex right here in our galaxy, or the intergalactic component. So the bigger ones always seem to have like a lot more detail or intelligence surrounding it. And there's a lesson in that. So this is us. That's us right there. And so, like, I'm going to say, this is Mother Andromeda. And then I'm going to say, this is Mother Andromeda and Mother Milky Way should probably be the same size. Now, the problem with Mother Andromeda is that she belongs to a different Nexa system. Okay, so here's the fun part. I am one of these little blue kids. So here's Mother Andromeda, the big one. And I am this little blue kid from Mother Andromeda. And then I incarnate on planet Earth. And here's Mother Milky Way. And I am actually like this, but I'm a little blue kid. So I'm a starseed. And that's why starseeds really fuck up everything. But they also create a new integration for the Nexa system. I'm trying to get to where they're not all the same. But this is why, so like, if there's a disease within a planet or within a galaxy system, star seeds will come from all over the place and begin to balance. And we'll come under a unity consciousness agreement that we will ascendio the planet to T-Fred or above. And that's the generic teaching. So we don't ascend planets into Netzach. That's 4D. Like, we ascend planets into 5D or above. Period. All right. So let's get to the rush. There was a set of Russian folding dolls like this. So I could be this little blue kid, and then Nina could be the little red kid. And then we start to create a pattern within our own galaxy. So this is now, let's say, within all the star seeds, now this is what Mother Milky Way looks like. Yay. But then we still need to attach and reconnect back to our mother source. So we're gonna make Mother Milky Way still have a bind with Mother Andromeda from our home galaxy, but also 2 other galaxies. Now, you guys might not do that. You guys might have one home galaxy, and it's just your galaxy and Mother Milky Way galaxy. And that will be part of your Nexa system. Now, if you're like a real legit builder, you will be looking at this list and going, what are my galaxies I'm responsible for? So this here is Kelly. Now, if you look at antenna galaxies, and it's in the constellation of Corvus, Ravenclaw. So Kelly takes on antenna 1, antenna 2, and then does a grid for the combined. And you can actually feel her grids popping off of antenna galaxy. And you'll start to see these blue bubbles in the light frequency coming through, doing a huge amount of clearing. So if like, you'll either pick 1 or 2 or 3 and your home galaxy. Now I took Hogue's object and we're stabilizing it, and that's in Serpent's Caput, which is the snake's head. Okay, so like I'm taking responsibility for the head of Slytherin, Hogue's object. And then I'm also taking responsibility for Tadpole, which is in Draco. So that's the dragon. So this is very Gryffindor energy. And we call them intergalactic components. So it's where that galaxy to the next galaxy to the next galaxy. So Tadpole to Hogue to Mother Andromeda to Mother Milky Way. And the energy in between all of those galaxies through space. Now that's an intergalactic component, because you cannot grid up like the whole universe. You can try, that's not very easy. I do a little bit of the entire universe grid as my final Russian doll, but it's just like a lot. So Kelly's will be antenna 1, antenna 2, Andromeda, and then Milky Way. And then she's got a component. Now a component needs to be with 3 galaxies or more. It's better with 4, because that actually creates a 3-dimensional, like tetrahedral energy. And we're doing it at now time on Earth, because I understand that space-time continuum collapses in many different places through the universe. Because we're in an ascension and we still have to work with Earth's rational linear timelines, because we're not insane. We don't bypass story. That creates rape and drama. That creates crime. That creates karma. So if you override story and linear action through time sequencing, that's like a Slytherin thing. Like, oh, I'm just gonna do crazy stuff all day long. Okay. And that's where people go, like Slytherins go insane. Now, Hufflepuff goes back to Earth and regrounds 10 times deeper, and they never truly go insane. So like you'll see a leader of a cult creating a sex cult instead of learning how to clear their karma. And that's a sense of insanity. All right, then you're going to see things like a leader of a cult jumping off the edge of a cliff thinking he's going to fly because he can do other kinds of magic. And that's also psycho and insane. So there is a level of belief and like instead of delusions of grandeur, like if you want to fly, you should definitely learn how to levitate before you jump off a fucking cliff. So we start from the roots. Now I knew what my body could do before I sat on a beach and starved to death. And I knew exactly like what I'm capable of attracting, manifesting. I had a sense of street smarts. Okay, so I knew before I jumped off a fucking cliff. I did not know I was going to be going down into the cliff and battling 8 billion knife rape and Slytherins. So there are accidents in life. If I had known, I probably wouldn't have done it, or I would have prepared better. And that's the real response. Yay. That's life. So was it reckless for me to do it? No. It was actually reckless for me to not prepare better, or for me to not get the hints or the signs of like what the planet really was instead of what I was pretending that it was. So that, I mean, listen, even Lucifer and the dragons were not prepared for what it really was. So we were all kind of taken aback about how deep the level of demonic energy was on the planet. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and pick out your intergalactic component before we begin. If you need to pause the video, go ahead. You can choose tadpole, but understand this. Your grids will be to add to what I'm doing or override them in a higher degree or better way, but they will never be less boundaries. I can get away with more cheats. So it's not to lower the bar. All right. If you really like the idea of doing Eye of Sauron or Comic Galaxy, if you're attuned to it just by the way it looks, that's cool. By the constellation that it's currently in, that's also a reason to choose. By the name of the galaxy is another reason. So however whatever you're called for. Now Andromeda is the closest. That's the closest galaxy to ours. So that's our home point. So that's why she's in charge of building the 8th house Nexa system into Earth. And it's the two will eventually merge into a single new galaxy called Milkdromeda. So that's kind of like Antenna 1 and Antenna 2 created the antenna galaxies. $4.5 billion years from now. But we're going to still create the energetic connections. Now, Mother Andromeda builds these. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this. And I'm scared that I'm going to show you guys really weird stuff. I don't know that it, we'll see. We'll see if I find it. These are all just sky. Yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna. Somebody's like, oh my God, I love your Pinterest. So this is, oh, there's a dragon Patronus. That should be in dragon. So I'm trying to find, the druid ladders. And I don't have them saved. So but what it is, I can search on my Facebook. Druid charm. There we go. So this is the thing about my Facebook, is that you can go ahead and, if you remember seeing something. All right, how do I see it in the edit post? Let's see if we can add, edit all. There we go. All right, so I'm going to show you what the Druid or the 8th house Nexa system kind of looks like on an energetic wavelength. We have a lot of these home tree energies coming from the other planetary systems. But there are these Druid ladders going between the different planets, and there are bridges like this. DNA helixes from one planetary system to the next. So I'm missing some of the images where you'll see the different bridges or structures that will come in from other planetary systems. But you can kind of get a decent vibe of what the different Nexus system might look like. The different chains connecting. I'm gonna look and see if it's in here. So this is the deep forest dragon. I doubt that it's here, but edit post. This is mostly the color. Yeah, it's not. But you can kind of get a sense of what she'll stick these giant towers from your home to her planetary systems. And they'll create these bridges from one planet to the next. Almost like the lines connecting different stars in a constellation. But they are the gigantic DNA chains and DNA modules. Now, one of the first people to show me about these connections was Elon Musk. because he has a very strong intergalactic brain DNA chain that connects to his home system. And when I saw that, I was like, well, that makes sense. And that's why everyone calls him an alien. It's not because he actually came from. so we incarnate, and then but we create a giant DNA galaxy connection to integrate all our knowledge and all our talents from our home star system. And that's why we build our 8th house Nexa system. Now, the other component is that, let's say Elon corrupted and decided to go super Slytherin. He still needs to do his Hufflepuff brain cook. Let me tell you that. But let's say he went full, like he didn't do it, and like we are gonna cut him off. Like, so when we have a full, he has the choice to cook out his brain and do Hufflepuff 5th dimensional work. And that's the law. Or not. But when we combine our different planetary systems together, we can start severing the heads of the Slytherin snakes. And we can start creating a platform where they're not allowed to stay. They're not allowed to reincarnate on this planetary system module. They'll have to go find some weird planet that we haven't gridded yet if they're gonna continue to reincarnate or exist. Now, the stronger we build that system, the less chance that they have to reincarnate or perpetuate their Slytherin agendas, etc., etc. So if they don't ascendio into 5D, then we gotta chase them off. Now, if I'm Archangel Kamael, okay, so if they, if they're my problem on this planet, they're my problem on another planet, they're my problem on every planet in the galaxy. Wait, no, in the intergalactic component. Wait, no, in the universe. They're my problem. So it doesn't matter what planet they decide to incarnate on, because I'm Archangel Kamael and my job is to hunt down Slytherins and take them out. That's my job. So now you understand, like, if they're supposed to ascendio into the light of God. Otherwise, they're a demon parasite. Okay. Now our 8th house Nexa system helps with all of it. All right, now we've explained everything. At least enough for you guys to digest and think about it times a million. All right, let's look at the Russian dolls or the list of galaxies. Either way. So we're going to take our 4 points from our world shell. And we're going to imagine where we sit in the Milky Way. Let's actually look and see if we can find planet Earth inside Milky Way. There we go. We are here. Now you understand how funny our grid is. Okay. Now a planet cannot like you. So Mother Earth does not like Elijah. Okay. But the galaxy does, and he's done incredible things on other planets within the galaxy. So he has a good karma with this body of intelligence. Now, that doesn't mean that he won't get kicked off this planet. So you need to know that. So Mother Earth goes, "You're not allowed on my tree," because of the way he's treated her for the last couple decades during an ascension. All right. But the Milky Way, like the galaxy, where the Pleiades belong in this galaxy and a number of other. Okay, so he's done really heroic things through the course of his lifetimes in these different components of the other parts of this galaxy. So Mother Milky Way goes, "That's my boy," even though Mother Earth is ready to kill him. Because Mother Milky Way has a lot different relationships with him through centuries and millennia of existence and being. Okay. So he has to climb on to Mother Milky Way's tree. And that is that's a 5th house or higher tree. And that's like, I have to get into the 8th house Nexa system to continue to exist. And through his physical body. Now with Mother Milky Way, like, she'll save him. Like, and that's where we get trapped, is because the galaxy likes him, that he's a piece of shit on this planet. So he can die and then reincarnate within this galaxy because the galaxy likes him, and that's life. But Mother Earth is done. She's over it. So this is why he's referred to as Jake Sully, because he got kicked off the planet. So like Jake Sully doesn't belong on Pandora. So he has to pass through the 8th house Nexa system of Pandora to be able to vibe and receive all of the grids from Pandora from his current, through his new avatar body. Oh my God, it's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. Now if somebody does the archangel work, they start running 7th house energy. This is not doing 7th house assignments, but it is like, I'm gonna be full on archangel. That's the fastest way to start connecting to the higher realms of the galactic energy, and then start producing higher vibe intelligence for the planet to take care of the planet in 100% selfless service component. So imagine your 4 towers around the planet and then see how small that is. Now, we're gonna ask Mother Andromeda to help us build a central tower within the galaxy. Model our home Gryffindor tower. Oh, most of you guys didn't do that yet. Okay. So model the first tower with the worlds of Jedi to Great through the central column of the Milky Way. Now, if you're smart, you'll start asking to model those same central towers through your other 3 galaxies. So through Mother Andromeda, through Hogue for me, and through Tadpole Galaxy for me. Now, Tadpole Galaxy is a weird asymmetrical galaxy that has a tail, but it still can be where the spermy head is. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna protego totalum all of those towers, all the different worlds. And I'm hearing that this is way too much for me. And it kind of is. But we just do what we can. And then we put the goos. So I'm going to do protego totalum just on the central tower of the Milky Way galaxy. We're going to start with our first galaxy. And then we're going to take that central tower. We're going to make sure that it has the DNA spirals going up and down. Like we would in our home. And we're going to start to build a bridge from the planet into that central tower. And it might look like those chain links, or it might look like the DNA chains creating a bridge. And it will start to bind with the central core of your tower, of your central spinal tower in the eye of the galaxy. Now you're gonna imagine another 4 towers on the outside of this galaxy going up, up, up. Knowing that this galaxy is more flat than spherical. So we're gonna go up the sides of it. So it's more flat other than and those 4 towers will start to curve up and connect with the central tower on an egg shape. So we're creating an egg around this galaxy. And now you look at the Russian dolls. And you see like how that little doll is like Earth, and then here is the big doll. So, and that's funny because in reality, like we're Earth. So we have, so this is Geburah. So it would be like many eggs, many Russian dolls in between Earth and the final egg around the galaxy. Just like for us on the planet. So we're the teeny little doll and the planet's the big doll. And then all of these other dolls in between is our relationship to the planet. And that's why we don't do things like create crime or knife rape, because that just makes us smaller in life. Instead of like intelligence, because we see where we actually exist in like a humble in like a humble space of existence, and we go crime. Like the idea that I'm even allowed to commit a crime is insanity. Like I'm allowed to cut down a tree? No fucking way. That's like I am a nothing in this giant galactic. So when you understand that, like how small we are, I'm not allowed to do demonic activity. That's like a cell in your body going, I'm allowed to create cancer. It's exactly that. Like I have free will. I can create cancer. And then the body goes, chemo. You're gonna be wiped out. Death. Just death. Oh my God. Arrogance. So we try to oversimplify our existence and focus on health and humility. And that's actually a very Hufflepuffy tendency to begin with, is focusing on health and humility, and then education. And that's life. Oh my God. And I hear J.K. Rowling going, I really wish I had done everything differently. And that's the space for where we really should be at, is like her being 100% humble of how many trees she had cut down so we could ascend the planet. That is life. And then it seems expensive up front, but the reality is it's expensive in the back end. This really pops your ego bubble when you start working on 8th house work. And it goes like, so this is also the job of Ophanemes in life, is doing all this crazy galactic gridding. And they understand the laws of each planet, and how the planetary ecosystems work when they do that work, that level of intelligence. So they have mastery over earthly logic and organizational systems. So they would be very good. They would get A's in biology and physics and stuff. So they have very good left brains. So you're not really allowed to create magical laws or rules around planetary ecosystems until you actually know what the planetary ecosystems are. So you're not allowed to create laws around humans or like until you understand like how the human body works. That kind of reality. So like, let's say Star. Star's not allowed to tell me she's my master. She doesn't really even know one thing about me, like at all. So, and then she doesn't even understand really like the science behind humans or humanity. And then she doesn't even understand humans within the context of a global system or within an intergalactic system or within an ascension system or within the tree of life. So she's not really allowed to tell anybody that she's their master. And she spent her whole life doing that to everyone, actually. And that's why I have to come along and then go punch her in the face. So you should start feeling the grid around the galaxy starting to set a little bit. And then we're gonna put the Protego Totalum mesh around that egg and in through that egg. And we're gonna put those pearlescent goos. Now that instantly starts to begin to sever a lot of the old Slytherin energies from other star systems within this galaxy. Because there were a number, believe me. There are a lot of Slytherin planets within this galaxy, or planets with Slytherins, reptiles. And then you can increase, you can duplicate, or I don't want to say duplicate. So each box, you can create another box of 8 more boxes. So increase the resolution. I want to say it is kind of a way of doubling up because you take the center point of each box and then you create more boxes. And then we'll triplicate, so the center of each of those boxes. And that actually begins to create that 2736 level resolution protection, Protego Totalum. And that's more an appropriate number for an 8th house Nexus system. Not the generic like 144 level, but the 2736. And when we do the anti-knife rape pages for the 2736 for the Karma prison, it's to clean it out of the galaxy on a galactic level. Now I'll do it on the intergalactic component level. So that will be the next higher level resolution. That will take me years to get that complete, but that's fine. That's life. That's work. Now we're going to put the salviohexia charm on that egg, and you can begin to start seeing just on the picture how much clearer it's getting and more refined. It's less like this and more like a light wave vibration. And yes, we're going to do the crystal yolk for the 8th house system, but we're going to do it starting at Malkuth. We're going to do it with a set of Malkuth yolks. And then in about a year, 2 years, or 3 years, we're going to start with the Yesod yolks. So we're going to build it up from scratch and do it through many different layers of all the different hell realms. Not all, but a lot of the different hell realms. And fill up the astral planes with health. And then Mother Milky Way is saying, I'm really looking forward to Geburah. That's about 20 years from now. So you'll start to see the honeycomb begin to sink through, and you'll see that dripping honey around the galaxy. You'll see it through your root chakra. You'll feel it through your root chakra. Because it changes the planet. Also changes everything in your soul body. Now, we're going to go ahead and do a purification round. We're going to put a violet paste inside. Maybe it's lavender, like a lavender cream paste. Just to clean up some of the junk or yuck. And on the outside, if you need to take some time to fill, on the outside, we're going to create this honeycomb, but it's a violet flame plasma fire honeycomb. And it will contain the violet flame shell to begin to purify all the disgusting energy of existence in this galaxy. Cut a million cords. Now it's easier when you're doing that plasma on top of the regular honeycomb. And it's funny because this galaxy is a little bit just those colors to begin with. So it's the golden honeycomb yolk with a little bit of that violet flame on the outside. See it like this picture. This one doesn't have that purple fiery energy so much. Sorry if you're using this picture to focus on. So a real ophaneme trains as a seraphim day after day after day after day until they become masters, and then they become full on ophanemes, and then they do this work all day long. Now, if you start to feel the violet flame plasma like blasting out your brain, it's for a reason. But it's a good place to start to contain. And then we stop here. But try to make sure that all the points, the 4 points, plug into your eggs somewhere. So a point should plug in to the central column, but maybe it plugs into the other side of the egg also. And then you also have the central column, porcupines, into the outside shell of the galaxy, and then reinforces the violet flame energy. And we're gonna end on that note, because I'm already feeling the extreme clearing process overwhelm. Ah! All right, Kaliran out.